After several splits and stock market crashes, the longer-term uptrend can continue as price recovers. This will be a good example of a large fib extension applied over a long time range, during a developing recovery that has the potential to eventually pass previous highs. By mid-2013, a large ascending triangle becomes clear, along with a rough uptrend line from the March 2009 lows. The previous fib extension with 0.3 at 55.46 was acceptable since that was the end to a first clear retracement, moving 0.3 to 53.95 at the next slightly lower upswing produced marginally different results. This choice was primarily made for greater confluence to have 0.3 at the absolute low of the bullish continuation range that mainly consisted of the ascending triangle. This also intersected with the larger uptrend line. Moving 0.3 to the next downswing that is slightly lower was also done for greater confluence with significant swing points that marked the start of the main ascending triangle outline. These adjustments were not entirely necessary. They were mainly done to more closely approximate points from the fib extension with the significant continuation pattern that was the ascending triangle. It wasn't a mistake to have made the adjustments to more closely approximate the ascending triangle with points 2 and 3. That would be a common choice to have more confluence with the swing points. However, the better route was to have the same approximate distance for the base trend, but a smaller retracement to not lower the entire fib extension as a low, since the higher fib extension levels would likely be more beneficial once the bullish acceleration began and continued after the ascending triangle completed, and before the sharp peak in late 2019. A fib retracement reveals all ascending triangle swing points had greater validity to be used for a fib extension since they formed near fib retracement levels instead of using the large fib extension from the sharp March 2009 upswing and an ascending triangle. An alternative would be to use swing points from the period when the ascending triangle acceleration began to slow down. The choice to also move down to the weekly time frame allowed for greater detail during the substantial 2018 correction. The combined factors of this still being a longer time frame and the steep drop from April to May 2018 resulted in relatively low precision. This was to be expected, even though the base trend and retracement were relatively stable in comparison to the period after 0.3. Moving down further to the daily time frame helped with even greater detail and slightly more precision compared to the general approximations of the previous extensions that covered much longer time ranges. After the gap down and general 3 Black Crows price action ended with a near absence of bearish volume spikes on May 3rd, the downtrend was not over, but had significantly decelerated. This provided the opportunity to use a larger base trend and later retracement to cover more suitable proportions in the progressing downtrend. The upswing in late June on the 0.618 level also validated the fib extension to a degree in terms of its ability to capture more moderate support opposing the downtrend. Precision is still generally lower at the sharper swing points, but this is a far better result than the overall wide proportions from the fib extension in the broad weekly time frame. Validation on the 0.618 level was important, as many subsequent upswings were of a suitable proportion. This kind of validation is not a certain guarantee of greater accuracy, and it may not even be possible in some cases. It is simply a complementary addition to enhance the reliability of the fib extension levels. Price moves well under a fib retracement range, but a sharp upswing approximating A more refined ascending triangle uptrend line points to some major support opposing the downtrend around the same area as the 2.618 Fib extension level, and to a lesser extent the moderate upswing point on the 1 level of the Fib retracement. Using Fib retracement levels to identify suitable swing points for points 2 and 3 of a Fib extension proved to be quite effective, similar to other examples. Note how even though the sharp upswing opposed the downtrend at the 1.272 extension level and 0.786 retracement level, it was not a complete guarantee that area would be an exact bottom, as demonstrated by the sharp drop through that area in early 2020. As usual, multiple Fib levels can identify the same approximate area of opposition to a trend depending on the points chosen for the base trend and retracement of the base trend. Similar to other examples, point 3 can have an effect on the overall Fib extension, but it is usually a minimal impact when multiple swing points approximate the same range, such as the downswings in the 180s. Slight variation can often be made with the position of point 3 when multiple options for point 3 have several downswings grouped close to a Fib retracement level. This demonstrates how there can sometimes be several ways to arrive at similar results, and use Fib levels under several variants depending on the swing points chosen. Extension levels having confluence with retracement levels and trend lines often reveal areas of potentially more significant reversals and retracements. However, this is not always necessarily the case. Major reversals can still take place at single Fib extension levels, with little to no confluence, especially at new record highs or new record low ranges. Since a base trend is essentially the foundation that determines a Fib extension's proportions, it is not surprising moderate opposition can often take place at approximately 100% increments of the distance of the base trend. This is an interesting general observation and not a necessary part of primary analysis with Fibs. The 100% increments of a base trend can also line up with significant areas such as the upper boundary of the ascending triangle in this example. It is possible for decisive price action to take place at approximately 100% increments of a base trend's distance, except starting from point 3, though this is to a far lower extent.